these allegations about I finished the money. Thomas, I came into this election working and working so hard to win the election. Why would I finish the money when I know that I'm pushing to win the election? Yeah. Why would I put $200 million deficit when I'm going to be the next governor? So all of these things, and the reason I'm saying this today is because since this administration came in, it's all, you know, and so it's important that the community knows that with the deficit, yes, we had solar, due to pandemic, yes, there was deficit, but the reimbursement that comes in to FEMA should subsidize or reduce the deficit. I've been asking as well for the last 3 years, what are those numbers, so that the community sees if it's $30 million deficit, what is the reimbursement on that $30 million? With the ARPA funds, again, I've been told they with MSA, Marianas Southern Airline, it was terminated because I was accused of finishing the money. Thomas, there is nothing in the CNMI because tourism is our industry, our main industry. There is no way that this government, the CNMI, will succeed without airline. And I've put investment into the airline, because I know what it takes. I know this is what we have. Even if you have 5-star hotels here, hotels that we have today, it's not being operated. Why? Because there's no airline. And once you start hurting the airline industry, it's a matter of ripple effect. So this ministry came in and they cut on Marianas Southern, and again, because I finished the money. They fired 600 employees. 600 employees that was allocated, was funded for. It wasn't about political year. It was funded for. It was the right thing to do. And it wasn't because it was political year. We had certain time to finish the money. Finish the money meaning go out and distribute the funds because your time is limited. It didn't say it's a political year, use certain amount. It was a political year regardless. We funded those employees and they were terminated. So, I want to shout out to the hardworking Congresswoman Kim. Kim came in, and that was the first document that we actually have from the CNMI and the U.S. Congress. That when this administration came in, there was $124 million left in the ARPA funds. Tomas, that's not $5 million. That's not 200,000. That's $124 million in January 11 or 12 of 2023. It's a lot of money that can stimulate the economy.
What's your response to some of the recent audit findings? You know, there's a lot of questionable
absolutely.
that we've seen come out under this administration. Are you surprised by those findings?
No, because here, Thomas, one of the things I'd like to clarify. Some of this, what is the biggest question is questionable expense, right? Mm-hmm. So when it says questionable expense, meaning they need more documentation for it. Yeah. It didn't say that my expenditure or the administration's expenditure was mismanaged or misused. It just says it's questionable, meaning they need more documentation for it. And in terms of the deficit, go back again. If we spend money on the deficit because of the typhoon pandemic, look at what the reimbursement part, because those are documented on the over expenditure. And so is this administration. So every administration, you end on December 31st, you do your audit, and you wait for the reimbursement to come back. And we've seen FEMA with all the disaster with pandemic, the reimbursement is taking much longer than normal.
All right, I want to talk now about the Torres-Jones platform, looking ahead at the next 4 years. What is your platform? And you know, sometimes journalists like to ask, what are your goals in the first 100 days? But let's not limit ourselves to 100 days. What do you all want to achieve? What will define the Torres-Jones administration?
Go for it. And it's his partnership, buddy.
Yeah, so if you don't mind, Tomas, I want to step in first and talk about one of the biggest reasons why I decided to step up. And part of our platform is education, reviving our education as well. And don't get me wrong, economy is priority. But we can't get anything else to start moving unless money's pouring in. And with education, as you already know, and as the CNMI can see it, every other Monday, what do we have? We have austerity. And when there's an austerity going on with our PSS community, students are home. Who's home with our students? Because I do home visits as a principal. I do with my amazing counselors and my vice principals, and I knock on these doors to find out the person that's opening up the door is an elementary student. I say, where's your mom and dad? And let me just be clear, it's not the parents' fault. The parents have to go to work because they can't miss work in the economy that we're in. They need to go and make a living for the family. It just so happens that the neighbors are there to watch, but that's the reality that we're facing. I work in the front lines with our community. I see families every day. I talk to students on a daily basis. I talk to my staff. I see the morale that we have as educators. We need to put a focus on that. They are the heartbeat of our Commonwealth, our youth. We need to protect our youth. But with Governor Ralph coming back into this arena, the man that has a great relationship with investors, not just in America, but also in the Asian market, he is able to bring these people back in to our economy. And then when the economy starts booming, everything else is gonna feel that positive vibe. Yeah. And then on top of that, everything else, we're gonna start having the ability to bring in more innovative ideas and implementing new plans and programs that's gonna benefit everybody in the CNMI. But let's not talk about just how he's able to work with investors. It's also here in Saipan. When I played golf with him this past 2 months ago, we had a fundraiser for a birthday golf tournament. We were at hole number 18 at Kingfisher. We're sitting down in the cart, and then pulls up on the next the hole number, if I'm not mistaken, hole number 13. Pulls up next to us, 2 carts full of businessmen, and they come up and they, hey, Mr. Ralph, and they all come up and shake his hand. And I was like, wow, that's the kind of connection we need, that kind of relationship that we need to bring back. And I could see how happy these people were when they saw Ralph, Governor Ralph. I was like, wow. So that's the kind of stuff that we need to bring back. But I'm sorry, Thomas, I don't mean to keep talking
it's
over
your
here.
time, please. Yeah. We're here. We can be here as long as you
My students say sometimes I talk too much in the class.
No problem.
But it's his ability to, his current relationship with the federal government. Who's the president right now? Donald Trump. A Republican, a guy that actually communicates with our governor. Yeah. These guys actually talk, not send each other letters and signature and all of that. They actually talk on the phone. That's what we need. We need to be connected straight to the top and get that support from the top. And Donald Trump supports Governor Ralph Torres. And let's take advantage of that. And let's stay aligned. And I'll be remiss if I don't talk about the lady of the hour, the birthday girl, Congresswoman Hines. She's up there too.
Absolutely.
And she's doing an amazing job fighting for our Commonwealth. Not just for certain people, she's fighting for everybody. She's not rocking the red color, the blue color, the white color, the whatever. She's rocking the CNMI colors. And we need that. We need to stay aligned. And with that being said, Tomas, that's why I strongly believe that this is the team that we hope the CNMI can trust. Because we will deliver. You just gotta give us time. Give us that opportunity. You give us that opportunity, we're gonna build more opportunities for everybody else.
Man, Tomas, I really, and you just need to add with what Mr. Jones and Lieutenant Governor just said. When you look at Kim, who's working extremely hard for the people of the Commonwealth, looking at every issues from the travel issues, labor issues. I mean, we can name some of the issues right now, no to talk. and you have a Republican congresswoman who's working so hard. And we talked about this with Ben. You know how powerful the partnership would be if you have a Republican governor, a Republican Congress, and a Republican president? When the doors are open, because you are that. And it's not just me as a Republican or Ben, but there is that relationship. There is that partnership. There is that line of communication that we are important. That the people of CNMI will have a seat on the table. And it's important today, more so than we have in years. And we're looking at federal partners, federal assistance, from federal program from PSS, federal program from environmental studies, from everything, right? So this is an opportunity for all of us, for the first time in the Commonwealth history, to have a Republican or just at least one straight party down, to have one voice for the Commonwealth. And that speaks volumes on that.
Gavin, I wanted to follow up on that point. But does that work with this kind of Trump administration to have carve-outs for us? You know, is that relationship strong enough to say we should be treated differently than every other state and territory?
Thomas, I won't say that it is enough, but I'll guarantee you that there's a seat on that table to understand, and there's a voice for us. So there's two things about the legislature, the U.S. Congress, and our government. We as a government need to make the request first. Then the U.S. Congress fights for that. If the two don't align, then whose voice is the White House going to listen? So the answer is, when Kim's issue, our issue here, and both Republican, and we go there, I guarantee you we will have a seat on that table. And our voice will be heard by the White House, the Capitol, because we will come as one voice. Kim's voice is loud already, but when we come in, it solidifies that voice. It's one voice, one purpose, and for one Commonwealth.
And Gov, there's no shortage of issues these days. CUC, cost of living, right? Overall cost of living.
Tomas, since you mentioned CUC, I gave CUC $6 million on ARPA funds. I gave CUC, I want to take it back because it's been a few years. If I recollect correctly, it's between $6 to $8 million that I gave CUC to purchase new generators. And one of the purposes to see exactly this. I know for a fact that our generators it's aged, no? Deteriorating and so forth. The efficiency is not the same. So I would like to know